Hey, how are you? Adam Bersan here. I'm here with Juan De La Vega, our market sales director out of Ohio and Pennsylvania, and also working part of Florida with us now. Juan and I were sitting here talking a little bit about lead financing programs and how I think they are important, especially for brand new people to the business, people that don't have a lot of money to work with. And we were just kind of talking about there's a lot of different programs out there for lead financing, different companies that do it. We've actually both been a part of different companies that have done lead financing, and we've kind of seen the positives and the negatives, uh, the things that are good about them, the things that aren't so good about them, uh, and we were just kind of talking about, like I said, for one thing, I think they're great for people that don't have a lot of money to get started. They see the value in leads. They see the value in leads. Uh, but they have trouble being able to fund a consistent lead order.
Right.
And that's honestly, that's probably the biggest problem I've run into here since I started here about 6.5 years ago. I would find those people that were highly motivated, but they just didn't have a lot of money to work with. And at the time, we didn't have the lead financing available. So it was like, well, if they couldn't figure out a way to write a few apps and earn some lead credit and some commissions, they really wouldn't have another way to be able to get leads and to get started.
Right.
But what I found is that uh, a lot of times with lead financing, people can tend to, especially a brand new agent, some of these different companies, they could tend to get overfinanced where they have the leads coming in every week, but they're not writing enough business to be able to clear their lead balances on a weekly basis. It gets to the point where they feel trapped, where they don't know how to get out and they almost feel stuck. Uh, have you ever seen people in those kind of situations, Juan?
Yeah. And again, how you doing, guys? Adam, you and I work with the same company, different times, and the amount of time that I spent there, probably one of the biggest problems is exactly what you just described. So you've got agents that have the luxury of being able to finance their leads, which really, really helps out because you don't have to come out of pocket. And that's just huge because not everybody has, $1,000, $2,000 in reserve to be able to start a lead order. And then you got to wait for those leads for 3, 4 weeks. With the system that we're putting together here is, we have a bank of leads available. So an agent can start, get his writing number, go through the training, do a write out, buy leads, and go to work the next week. So there is no waiting. But the fact that you also don't have to come up with money, that's a huge thing. Now, therein lies the problem. So what I saw with my prior company was that if you had an agent who wasn't experienced and they're buying 20 leads and they maybe wrote 2 or 3 pieces of business out of that first set of 20, now they're buying another 20, well, that's $1,400. So you're up to $1,400 and you don't have the sales to cover those that lead cost, especially, Adam, when they have a max advance, say of $800 per house. Oh my goodness, you could sell 3 policies in a house and you're only seeing $800 of that, of which 50% has to go to pay down your lead balance. So you get in a trap really, really fast. And for an agent that doesn't have, it doesn't even matter the contract, but if they don't have the experience, they never end up seeing 100% of their money because they're paying it back at a 50% payback. And it's a trap. It's something that frustrates a lot of new agents. And, they end up staying there trapped because, well, I got to work off this balance, or even worse, they run up a $3,000, $4,000 lead bill and then they leave. And then the manager has to deal with it. So yeah, there's a lot of flaws with the typical financing lead system.
Yeah, and I think that with the rising cost of leads too, I think that problem is just
No,
going to
yeah,
get even bigger. Uh,
worse.
I mean,
Yeah.
heck, when you're spending almost $40 a lead, that's $800 a week for 20 leads. And like
My
you
God.
said, with the
Yeah.
way that the payback at 50%, it gets to the point where it almost probably feels like you're on like a 40 or 50% contract because you're never going
Honestly.
to
Yeah.
see that full commission. Uh,
Yeah.
And another thing too, I know a lot of times when people try to build teams, they get a lot of people hooked into a lead system where
Hmm.
they might have 5 or 6, 7 people that are all taking leads on a regular basis. What happens when you have a handful of people that get over financed and you can't send them any more leads? I mean, what happened to me in the past, I would be the one that would end up having to pay off all of their leads.
Yeah.
Every month, all of my renewals would go to paying other people's debts off. And
That's
it made it very difficult for me to get ahead. I was spending a lot of money on recruiting. I was spending a lot of time taking agents out and working with them and training them. And then it's just at the end of the day, if they just had a bad week, just one bad week, 2 bad weeks in a row could put them in a really tough
takes you
spot.
down. That takes you down.
So
Yeah, I've had buddies of mine that came into the business, have had success as a writing agent, maybe hired on 2 or 3 people and they didn't work, and that roll up came to them. And you're 100%. Their words were, "I don't want to grow. I don't want to build a team because I don't want to take on that expense." And you end up getting, yeah, you end up getting the fear of growing because you don't want to take on that debt. So lead financing is definitely a luxury. It's something that helps us grow. But if it's not managed, controlled, monitored, or if they're not converting the leads, oh my gosh, you can get into a mess really, really, really fast, real fast.
and that's one thing I love about our lead program, because as we said earlier, I mean the value in leads is it's the most important part of this whole business. I think we have to have
It's the lifeline. It's
activity.
the lifeline.
Yeah, we got to have
Yep.
activity. We got to have that steady flow of people to see on a regular basis. I mean, we took a program, in my opinion, a lead financing program, and we made improvements. And
Oh yeah.
not only do we finance leads, for one thing, the maximum we'll finance an agent is $1,000. So we're not going to
Yes.
put them in a spot where all of a sudden they're owing us thousands of dollars and they can't figure out a way to get out of that hole that they dug for themselves. Uh, but not only that, but with our lead
Hmm.
credit program is so powerful. And for those of you who don't know how that works, every time you write a piece of business with us, you earn a 10% lead credit. It's based off the annualized premium of the policy. So let's just say you
Hmm.
wrote 3,500 in premium for the week. Well, right
Hmm.
there, you earned yourself a $350 lead credit. And to me, that honestly, I think that should probably be the goal. If you can hit at least 3,500 in premium every week, you're never going to have to worry about paying more than half the price for your leads.
That's right.
Um, so that's what I love about us, is that Security National Life is willing to invest into their agents, not just by financing them leads, but by covering half the cost of their leads out of the
Yeah, nobody does that.
lead credit that they generate. And so that's really why it is almost impossible to dig yourself into a deep hole where you're not going to be able to get out of it, because that lead balance is really never going to get that high, because of the fact that
Yeah.
Security National Life is investing in you as an agent as well.
Absolutely. No, that, and then even with brand new agents starting on board, the fast start, I've got 4 new agents that started last week, and 3 of them immediately wrote a policy. So they got the instant 250 lead credit. And then you keep them just engaged and keep them pumped up. Next level is 3,500, and they give you 30 days to write 3,500 in premium. So these guys are writing 3,500 in a week, and then the next stage, the third level, is 7,000, and you have 60 days to do that. So I challenge everybody that comes in here, and the team pushes them, which is really, really nice. If you hit the 3 levels, your first policy within 14 days, 3,500 in production within the first 30 days, 7,000 within the first 60 days, you get $750 instant and 10% of that 7,000 production. So you get $1,450 to get jumping. And Dee just started. She hit it. She crushed it. And I just looked at her lead credit. She's been with us a month. I looked at her lead credit, and she's 1990 something. She's almost $2,000 and lead credits. And I mean, and like you said, if you do it that way in your writing business, 20 leads a week is $700, but here you're only paying 350. It takes one or two policies to knock that balance off, and now you're pure profit. Following week, you're set to buy again. So you're 100% right. You don't ever get stuck in that trap. And that's huge, because I feel bad for agents who, like you said, you might have 1 or 2 weeks or 1 or 2 batches that you don't write anything, and you're trapped. You're trapped way behind the 8 ball, and you just feel like you can't get out. And what's the point? And it's a helpless feeling, you know. So we're blessed, man. We have a system that works.
Yeah, and not only that, I mean, when everybody has bills to pay. So what happens when
Yeah.
you have a mortgage to pay or a car payment, and the beginning of the month comes and you're expecting money to come so you can
Mm.
pay your mortgage, you can pay your
Yeah.
car payment, and
Yeah.
you don't see any of it because it's all going to
Yeah.
paying your leads off. I mean, it's a tough, you can really put yourself in
It
a tough
is.
spot. So
Well, and then the other trap with that is, even as you're saying it, I'm putting myself in that position mentally as you're saying it, and you can feel your chest getting tight. And then it creates another trap. It's what we call commission breath, where you're so worried about being able to make your mortgage that you're now not focusing on the client. And then that creates a bigger mess. So yeah, it's a domino effect that starts with the feeling of being trapped by being over financed on the leads, and not being able to get caught up because whether your maximum advance in a house isn't set up, or your commission level is too low, or your lead cost is too high, and you can't get out. I mean, it's a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing, and it doesn't have to. So that's what I'm saying. We're blessed that we have the system that actually works, and we got agents that are writing writing policies, getting deposits, and starting over fresh again at the beginning of every week. It's nice. It's
yep,
nice.
no, that's right on. Like you said, with the lead credit and everything else, they never get over financed.
Hmm.
Fresh slate every week, fresh slate,
Fresh
new
slate.
leads coming in. We don't see anybody really getting piled up with a ton of debt,
No.
and it's a
Nope,
lot
no,
easier
we
to
don't.
work. It's a lot easier to work when you have to
Absolutely.
worry about the fact that you might not have money coming in to pay your bills this month.
You know,
So,
and I got to say, on my end as a manager, $1,000 maximum advance. Let's play. Worst case scenario, I got to eat $1,000. Sure as heck beats $4,000
yeah,
from just one agent.
yep,
So and you can monitor it as you go. You see an agent that's struggling, you're watching their balance. We could see from Lead Hub how many leads they have, and again, we could go run those again. We can just rework those leads. And if an agent just isn't catching on, it's a fail safe that prevents the manager from, having to pay back so much debt. You're maxed out at 1,000, and a proper manager will watch each agent's lead balance and make sure that they're okay. And if they're in trouble, you can jump in and help them before it becomes a problem. So
and if you
I
think
love it,
about
man.
it, $1,000 maximum finance is really 2,000 because the lead credit.
Yeah, right, exactly. So it's plenty of
So,
leads, plenty of
oh
leads.
yeah, more than enough. So yeah, I'm real happy you're with us, Juan, and I think that this program itself is just more and more people are going to be finding out about this and coming our way, because it
Oh yeah.
really, like I said, I feel like we took a system that worked for a lot of people and just made improvements.
Yes, we
And
did.
and
Yes, we
and
did.
it's a improvement that's going to help people make a lot more money and have a lot less debt.
That's it.
So
That's it.
if any of you have any questions about what we're talking about the SNL career platform, about our lead financing, feel free to reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to set up a time to get into further detail about what we do and how it works. And we'd love to have you here. So thanks again,
That's it.
Juan. You have anything else before we cut off here?
No, that's it. I think it's a very, very important topic that's going to make a lot more new agents feel comfortable about starting here with us. Add to that, the training system that we have to make sure it's a tried and true system. You can't help but to succeed here. So nope, take that step, man. Take a peek at us. See what we have going on.
Sounds good. Well, we'll wait to hear from you guys. Thanks again, Juan, and take care.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.